Of those aircrew were volunteers. No one was conscripted in to fly during World War II. You volunteered for it. And they volunteered knowing the risks, and they went ahead and flew these aircraft on night raids over Germany.
Most famous and successful RAF heavy bomber of World War II first flew in January 1941. It carried 22,000 pounds of bombs up to 275 miles an hour and a range of 1,500 miles. Over 7,000 were built, 3,500 were lost on operations. Only 2 now, and here they are.
Whereas a lot of the ones in the UK, following their use in Bomber Command in the early 50s, were used as maritime patrol aircraft prior to the delivery of the Shackletons. And of course the aircraft that preceded the Lancaster, the Manchester, with a smaller wing and very unreliable engines, was something of a failure. The idea to hang 4 Merlins on was just simply inspired. The FM213 was originally a maritime patrol aircraft. They were used extensively for that, and also for mapping of the inhospitable areas, which actually make up quite a large part of Canada. The Manchester, the preceding the earlier aircraft, was powered by 2 Rolls-Royce Vulture engines, which suffered from not being developed fully. There were 2 Peregrines back to back, making an X-shaped 24-cylinder engine. They had a tendency to catch fire, which isn't really very good when the aircraft has no single-engine performance. The other engine is just there then to get the aircraft to the crash, and many of them were lost through engine failure as well as through enemy action.
So coming in now, the 2 fighters you can see on your left, ladies and gentlemen, to join in once more with the match.
we're on, I ask you to put your hands together for the volunteers that make this air show possible. What I would like you to do now, please, is show your appreciation for all of the Canadians who have worked so hard to bring this aeroplane over and put their own time into it.
Final pass now, ladies and gentlemen, so get those cameras ready. You won't see this again for a very, very long time, if ever.
Would you please pass this thanks on to the guys in Canada, and his words were a testament to your report. He said, I think they might have heard them. By that 1942, they went on to serve very well in armed operations support roles. Here's the markings of an aircraft from Southeast Asia Command. A large number of Hurricanes were shipped out there during the war. Hurricanes also were sent to Russia in large numbers and operated there against the German forces. The Spitfire is marked as the last aircraft to have done an operational flight for the RAF, which I believe, from memory, forgive me if I'm wrong, was 1954. This and two other Mark 19s owe their survival to 17 weather members from RAF withe. By the end of its production run, nearly 10,000 B-25 victims have been killed. They include a number of variations, like glass noses, like this one with the bomb aim and a half-inch machine gun sticking out the front. There was also one which had a 57mm anti-shipping gun in it, which extended about halfway back down the fuselage. And when you fired it, the recoil made the aircraft almost stop in midair. Some of the J versions not only had two half-inch machine guns in the turret that was above the pilot, but they also had another 4 in the nose, either side of the nose, fired by the pilot, and another one fired by the bomb aimer. So a Hector packed a really heavy punch. Unusual for aircraft of the period, it was a tricycle gear aeroplane with a nose wheel.
They were involved in some pretty extraordinary operations. Pedigree Steve Jones, of course, with full bottom, and the Matadors with the originally with the Sukhois and now with S-Bags.
The Spitfire was never intended to have a long range, and it hampered it throughout its career. The photo reconnaissance version that you saw earlier had tanks all over it. There was so much fuel they even used to put it in. Very much. The Mustang, on the other hand, was designed from the outset with a lot of internal fuel as an escort fighter.
Well, they would sleep a bit, but they might be fighting.
The Spitfire initially had a single-stage supercharged engine, but a very clever engineer by the name of Stanley Hooker at Rolls-Royce realised that if you compress the charge and then compress it again, you get even more power from the engine. What's this? They've changed lead. Now we have Steve Jones leading. The war over, returned to Newark in 1946. Coming in for his fly past, those gun holes howling. As Ferocious Frankie, which was in honour of Wallace E. Hopkins, the pilot's wife. Now, quite how he had the nerve to tell her he called it Ferocious Frankie, that must have been the source of much domestic bliss. He flew with the 374 Fighter Squadron now to you'll notice protruding from the front of the wings are two 20mm cannon barrels. This aircraft was armed with two 20mm cannon and up to 4 303 machine guns. It was really a luxury to get the new engine in. Went on to serve a large number of these ended up in Russia, and there was a dedicated photo reconnaissance version of the Mark.